Have a nice day. Today is Friday, 12th of January 2024. 12th of January 2024 marks the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda and is celebrated as National Youth Day. The Department of Youth Affairs is gearing up for National Youth Day with a unique and expansive approach designed to engage and empower every corner of the country's young demographic. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper The Hindu states that Mandela's support for Palestine lives on with as South Africa's case against Israel. South Africa's step up bringing a genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice because of its ongoing war against Gaza highlights the African nation's long-held support for the Palestinian people, which can be traced back to the time of Nelson Mandela and Yasser Arafat. People demonstrate in support of Palestine in Durban, South Africa. The Hindu newspaper also states that United States Britain launched massive retaliatory strike against Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen. The strikes mark the first United States military response against the Houthis for what has been a persistent campaign of drone and missile attacks on commercial ships since the start of the war in Israel. Newly recruited Houthi fighters hold up firearms during a ceremony at the end of his training in Sana'a, Yemen, January 11, 2024. The Hindu newspaper also states that Agnipath scheme was brought after consultations. Army Chief General Manoj Pandey says there is no zero tolerance for human rights violation in Jammu and Kashmir. Says the army is taking steps to improve human and technical intelligence in the UT. He adds that situation along the border with China is stable but sensitive. Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Pandey addresses a press conference ahead of the Army Day in New Delhi on January 11, 2024. The Hindu newspaper also states that Supreme Court questions center on GM mustard. Center says the Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee is statutory body, and the committee had examined relevant scientific data before giving the go-ahead of the environmental release. A farmer works through a mustard field in a village on the outskirts of Amritsar. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper, states that center set to roll out vaccine drive to fight cervical cancer. Besides cervical cancer, the vaccine also offers a protection against the HPV strains that cause cancer of the anus, vagina, and oropharynx. Additionally, it also protects against the HPV strains that are responsible for genital warts. Currently, the two-dose HPV vaccine is available commercially for about rupees 2,000 per dose. But once the government includes it in its immunization program, it will be available for free. Indian Express also states that setback for India seat sharing hopes in Bengal. Trinamool won't meet Congress panel for talks. Mamata Banerjee party says offer of 2 seats very clear, adds if the top Congress leadership speaks to the Mamata Banerjee directly, maybe she will concede one more seat. The TMC sources said had offered Malda, Dakshin and Berhampur to the Congress. The Congress hold both seats at the moment. Indian Express also states that Indian Army looks to upgrade to insulted pup tents on the IC heights along a line of actual control. In the recently floated RFI, the Army invited original equipment manufacturers and authorized dealers to participate in the upgradation process. As per officials, the small size of the teams will make it easy to carry it by soldiers during their patrols, and being self-contained will be easy to set up. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that Jaishankar Blinken discusses a maritime security and aimed at reckless Houthi attacks in Red Sea. United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken and India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar External Affairs Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar and United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken discussed the shared concerns over the reckless Houthi attacks in the southern Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. United States Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said on Thursday. Hindustan Times also states that India reduced import of Russian crude oil pricing. The development has coincided with the reports of more than a dozen Russian tankers being diverted from India since December. Indian refiners have significantly cut Russian crude imports and the plan to further decrease shipments from the sanctions hit country after Moscow steeply reduced discounts from about $10 a barrel to around $2 in recent months. At least for further decrease shipments from the Moscow sanctions hit country after the Moscow steeply reduced discounts from about $10 a barrel to around $2 in recent months. At least 4 people directly aware of the development said. Hindustan Times newspaper also states that from blueprint to reality, 21.8-kilometer Atal Setu connects the dream of third Mumbai. A night view of the MTHL Mumbai Trans Harbour Link Road. From the skies, the 21.8-kilometer long sea link appears like an umbilical cord that binds the island city of Mumbai to the hinterland, which is a part of, if all goes to the plan, the Mumbai Trans Harbour Link (MTHL) or the Atal Setu to be declared open by Prime Minister Modi on Friday will help birth third Mumbai. That is today. Going towards the economy of the country from the banking and finance point of view, handed white list of loan applications to a comment, says Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanta Das, others set to face action. Shaktikanta Das said the Reserve Bank of India had collected a list of loan apps from its regulated entities, banks and NBFCs, and given it to the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Shaktikanta Das, Reserve Bank of India's governor. Diesel exports to Europe at record high in December as flows shifted from Latin America. The displacement of Russian fuels away from Europe, the major season that led to the spurt in Indian fuel exports to the continent in the aftermath of Ukraine invasion also continues to play a role in the equation. Europe does not want to buy crude as well as refined fuels and products from Russia. No written communication from IT department on searches of Polycab. This came a day after the IT department issued a statement without naming the company regarding the searches carried out at 50 premises of Polycab in December that resulted in detection of alleged unaccounted cash sales of around 1,000 crore. Polycab India then issued a clarified in stock exchange late Thursday stating that the company will continue to fully cooperate with the income tax department in this regard. Going towards the world news, including United States, Britain carry out strikes against the Houthis in Yemen. Officials say Sheikh Hasina are sworn in as a Prime Minister of Bangladesh for 5th term. United Kingdom Shipping Authority receives support of vessel boarded by armored personnel of Oman coast. Four-way megacities are tackling air pollution. China says firmly opposes external interference in Maldives as Muzu wins up visit. Taiwan goes to polls on Saturday. Who are the key parties candidates and what is at stake? Going towards the science and technology, SpaceX targeting February for next Starship launch after 2 explosions. SpaceX is planning to conduct the 3rd test flight of this massive Starship launch system in February this year. SpaceX Starship lifts off during an orbital test mission on the company's Boca Chica launch pad near Brownville, Texas, United States, April 2023. Flyover named to the moon abroad. NASA's first robotic lunar rover. Participants can also create and download a virtual souvenir, a boarding pass to the VIPR Viper mission, featuring their name to commemorate the experience. NASA has invited people to send their names to the surface of the moon aboard the agency's first robotic lunar rover, Viper short or Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration Rover. NASA's Viper or Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration Rover. Viper will get a close-up view of the location and concentration of the ice and other resources at the moon's south pole. Microsoft overtakes Apple as the world's most valuable company. Microsoft overtook Apple as the world's most valuable company on Thursday after the iPhone maker began 2024 with its worst start in years due to the growing demand concerns. Microsoft overtook Apple as the world's most valuable company on Thursday after the iPhone maker shares made a weak start to 2024 due to the growing concerns over demand. In its most recent quarterly report in November, Apple gave a sales forecast for the holiday quarter that missed Wall Street expectations, hurt by a weak demand for iPads and wearables. At last, this is a famous quotation said by Abdul Kalam Ghulam Muhyiddin Ahmad bin Khairuddin Al-Hassani Azad. Birth anniversary 11 November 1888 up to 22nd of February 1958. Was an Indian independence activist, writer, and a senior leader of the Indian National Congress. Following India's independence, he became the first Minister of Education in the Indian government. He is commonly remembered as the Maulana Azad. The word Maulana is honorific, meaning our master, and he had adopted Azad Free as his pen name. His contribution to establishing the Education Foundation in India is recognized by celebrating his birthday as National Education Day across India. Mr. Kalam says a famous quotation. He says that educationists should build the capacities of the spirit of inquiry, creativity, entrepreneurial, and moral leadership among the students and became their role model. Okay, thank you.